You're now tuned in to the Soulful Stir with Tash and Symoné. We are live. Happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday.
Welcome to another episode of the Soulful Stir. I'm Symoné.
And it's Tash.
What's happening in your world?
Nothing, man. Just trying to make it.
Same, man. Same old same. Planning, reorganizing, all the things. Like
holiday seasons be, whew, took me up through there. It's just so much. Like trying to get my car together. Like, you know, my birthday after Christmas, so it just be a lot. Like it's. People be so excited, but it's all I could think about is the business. Like I got to spend money, I got to register shit, everything. Like literally, it hits me hard. Like Christmas, my birthday, then the first of the month, then my niece's birthday. Like within 2 weeks,
yeah,
I'm literally obligated to spend out like large sums of money.
That's a lot. It's a lot to consider.
Yeah, but it's cool. I ain't tripping, you know.
However, I think, yeah, you built for it, and like. I never want us to lose sight of the fact that, yes, like, to whom much is given, much is required, right? But thank God that we have the means to do the things that we're able to do for ourselves and our family members.
Absolutely.
Like, that is truly the blessing of the season, of every season. And I think it's important for us to continue to walk in gratitude so that we can continue to attract the things that we desire and love and be able to do all of the things that we currently do and beyond. Make room for new things as well. I am starting to get a little bit of like travel desire as well. And I do want to like sit down at some point and try to map out where I want to go next year, because I definitely want to get somewhere. Maybe somebody's island, another country, just to have a change of scenery and experience something different. My goal is to hit all of the Caribbean islands. I'm doing well so far, but I really want to go to Trinidad. And so I wonder what that's going to look like. Maybe next year, maybe not. I have to go back to Jamaica first before I can go to any of the other islands. But who knows? Maybe I could just do like a nice little extended trip. I do some time in Jamaica and then hit another island in between. I'm going to tell you one thing. Puerto Rico is always a good idea. I love Puerto Rico. I went one time and I was like, this could be my little getaway. Super affordable. The people are very kind. The food is wonderful. You know, the music, the culture, like everything was just, it was amazing in Puerto Rico. So who knows? Maybe I'll solidify my travel plans very soon. But right now, I'm just gearing up for walking into the new year and looking forward to all of the things. What's one of your New Year's resolutions?
I don't do New Year's resolutions.
Wah.
Because I don't, everybody, as much as y'all didn't hear me talk on this episode, I don't wait till the new year to do shit. If I want to change something, I'm going to change it because it's Wednesday. I don't wait until January 1st to make these arbitrary ass rules for my life. If I want to change the trajectory of my life on a fucking Tuesday at 5:36 p.m., on Tuesday at 5:37, we doing some new shit. Like, why I got to wait till January? Because I just feel like and I think that puts heavy burdens on people because they get so, oh, it's the first of the year, and oh my God, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. No, you don't. You could do it next year. You could do it next week. You could do it next week. Your new year can start in April. It don't have to start in January. Shit, every day is a new resolution for me. It ain't because it's just a new year.
Because it's Tuesday, sucker.
Yeah, like just change your life. Like shit, get up and be like, you know what, I don't want to do this no more. It just changed. Like I hate for people to be like, oh, well, I'm going to wait till Sunday to start this. I think I should do it on a Sunday. Why does it matter? Start today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to wait until something is done. You can just do it right now.
Yeah, I think that's a very healthy practice because it dismantles the idea around making ourselves feel like we have to wait until a specific time in our lives to make change, to make effective change in our lives. And we don't, in some way when we do that, we rob ourselves of autonomy And I don't think that people really think about it from that aspect because it's, you know, it's you doing it. But I think that's definitely a thing.
But I also would say I do that with everything in my life. Like, for example, I tell people this story all the time. I don't know if I've ever said it on the pod, and if I have, too bad, y'all gonna hear it again. But like with Roy, so when I had my son, people used to always be like, oh my God, you just gonna put that baby on a plane? Like, my son was flying at 3 months. But as a child, I, at 7 years old, flew by myself. My parents would put me on a plane as an unaccompanied minor, and I would be somewhere else. My grandmama, somebody come pick me up from the airport. You know, that was clearly pre 9/11, so people could come to the gate and all that other stuff. So as a parent, I put my son on planes at 3 months. We was flying. We was taking him out of the country. He had passports. We was taking him places. And people kept saying, you're not going to wait till he gets older. He's not going to remember that stuff. Well, joke's on y'all. My son never had a chance to get older.
Yeah.
And I feel calm in my spirit because I know that everything that I wanted my son to experience, he still experienced it. Even in them, my son traveled more in 2 years of his life than I've seen some adults do in their entire life. You know what I'm saying? Like, my son had been on more planes and more Delta lounges than grown folks who work every day.
Yeah,
and
that is true.
That because I did not know.
Royce was everywhere.
I did not know how life was going to go for any of us. And it was, you don't get that opportunity. And if I would have never seized it, if I would have, let me wait till he's 4, let me wait till he's 5. That's an arbitrary ass age. Like, people feel, well, he's not old enough to fly. Or people be online saying, well, my daughter's about to turn 7. What would you do to put her on a plane? Put her on a fucking plane and go. I didn't do no special nothing. I'd take my son. We'll be walking through the airport. I have a car seat on my back in a car seat book bag. I'll be pushing him in a stroller. I'll be wheeling a suitcase with the other hand. We'll go get us a rental car and we will be gone. Like, I remember an older black lady stopping me in the airport and she said, I don't know how old you are. She said, but you look young, which obviously I wasn't. But she was like, you look young. She was like, and I'm going to tell you, she said, you doing the damn thing. She said, I don't ever see women. She said, and you ain't complained once. She said, and you ain't even screamed at your baby. She said, I ain't heard him scream on no plane because she got off the flight before we did. She said, I didn't even know it was a baby behind me. I took my son, I did stuff for him because I wasn't going to wait until society tells me that he's old enough to enjoy this.
Which I think is very interesting because you just sparked a whole other memory for me when I was interning and I was interning for an arts organization in Ann Arbor. I met this really cool lady. She was an Indian woman who I had befriended at some point, me working at the arts organization. We started talking about children and, like, you know, what that looks like. And as somebody that was still in undergrad, you know, that wasn't on my radar at the time. But, you know, it's something that you think about here and there because now as I'm in my intern phase, you're starting to think about what's next, right? And society tries to train you to feel like children and marriage are next. And so I'm like, well, how do you, you know, I was just saying, like, I was telling her, like, I really want to travel and I want to, you know, do all these things. I really don't know if I want to have children at all. And she was like, oh, she said, don't let that be a reason why you don't want to have children. She said, I have pictures of me with a passport when I was a baby. She said, because my parents, they just took me everywhere. She said their lives never stopped because they had me. She said, I just came with them. She said, so we have pictures all over the world where I'm a child and, you know, she said, of course, I don't remember, you know, verbatim, of course, but she's just like, they never left me behind. And she said, I've never had that thought because of her experience growing up and what her parents show her what was possible, or the way that her parents show her what was possible. She never had that thought to say, like, I won't have kids because it's going to hinder my life experience and what I want to do, where I want to go, the things I want to experience. She said, you just pack your baby up and take her with you.
That's exactly what I did. Every time I went, Mike would be like, I can't go, I gotta work. Okay, well, we going by ourselves. People like, you travel with him by yourself? And we would listen. We did all kinds of stuff, but I did not wait. But that's just my thing about the resolution is why wait? We don't know what's going to happen. Don't say, well, January, I'm going to start saving money. It's December. Start saving money right now because you might need that money in January. Yeah. And then when January comes, your resolution of saving in January is now debunked because the money you was going to save that you could have saved in December, you was waiting. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to wait to do this. I'm going to wait to do that. It's like, no, just go ahead and do it now. Like, do it. I hate when people be like, oh well, I try to do this and this. I be around here at 8 o'clock at night. If I feel like I want to go to the gym, how people be like, oh, I just want to work out. Okay, I got a 24-hour gym. What I'm gonna wait to get up in the morning for? If I'm feeling it right now, I feel like the Holy Spirit, the Spirit, whatever you want to believe in, your conscience is telling you to do stuff at that moment for a reason. Don't quit putting stuff off. You never know the blessing or the benefit you might get from it. Like people say, sometimes be at the right time, right place at the right time. If your body and your spirit is saying go to the gym at 10:30 at night, you might meet somebody in there that you could do business with. You might meet somebody at 10:30 that could be your potential partner in life later on. You don't know what's gonna happen. Quit putting shit off for some arbitrary date or time. Do it now. Seize the moment. You never know.
My partner is famous and he don't live here, so.
But you never know. But think about it. To my point, if somebody were famous and they were trying to go to the gym, would they not go at a 10:30 where they don't think people are going to be there?
That's true.
They're not going to be there at 5 p.m. when people get off work because that's more of a crowd. Mm-hmm. I need to be somewhere exclusive at a certain time.
Yeah.
I want to go at 5 o'clock in the morning because I want to get there and work out before people start coming. That's when you can start meeting people and doing different stuff. But just don't wait till it's too late. You know what I'm saying? People wait till it's too late because society tells us that we have to do stuff the way society tells us, and everybody's not walking the same path. We're not living the same life and having the same human experience, even though some of us feel like we are. We're not. Everybody's situation is totally different. So, I mean, why we got to wait till January? You
I agree.
I've literally made a vision board before in like July. Like shit, I'm like, oh shit got to change for my life the next half of the year.
Yeah, I agree. So like for me, I do have like resolutions that I'm still like ironing mine out, but I am more inclined to just start doing it, or I can look back and be like, actually, I was actively already doing these things as I was writing them down. I just wanted to make sure that I was continuing the practice into the new year. Yeah. So that's more so how the structure of my resolutions look. And lately I've been doing them digitally because I can put them on things like that I will look at every day on my phone, on my tablet, laptop, whatever. I can put them there. I can also create mood boards, which I think is also beneficial. Mood boards and bingo cards.
It's funny that you say that because if y'all listen to the last episode when I talked about not having a TV, in my bedroom where my TV would be on the wall is where my vision board is. I don't have a digital one because when I wake up I don't want to have to feel like, back to our last episode, I got to have this phone or I got to have this iPad to look at my dreams. I literally wake up and as soon as I look at the wall, it's the first thing I see. And so it's a reminder every day of get out here and make this shit happen. Like, you got stuff you want to do. That's what's in place of my TV. It ain't a huge board, but it's right. It's in the first line of sight. When I wake up, there's no way I can wake up in my room and not see this.
Yeah, I think too, like, I always want to, I always want to be mindful of not putting too much on my plate than what I can handle in a season and not having an unrealistic expectation of deadlines of when these resolutions should, be complete if it's not something that's ongoing. I think that we put a lot of emphasis on set resolutions and then we create these unrealistic timelines for ourselves. It creates an unnecessary pressure on a lot of people and they end up never getting it done. Yeah. So, it's the anxiety of that, trying to, push for this deadline that often puts us in a position to not actually complete the task at hand. So I just want to say, be mindful, y'all, of the deadlines that you give yourselves and the grace that you give yourself in this season, in every season, especially moving into the new year. If you don't have a resolution, if you don't believe in all of that, cool. But at least try to practice some grace with yourself. And, if you're somebody that's a go-getter like Tash and I, we get it, but there are seasons where we must be gentle with ourselves. There's always a space for you to be gentle with yourself, right? Just as much as you are disciplined, you got to have some level of kindness with yourself to say, you know what, I do need to take a break. I have been running on E. I do need to be realistic about the expectations I'm setting for myself and how those expectations funnel into everything else that I'm balancing in life, because nobody is a magician and nobody is, well, some people are magicians in real life, right? That's what they do for their career. No, but seriously, nobody is a magician and nobody is a super powered human being person that's supposed to be able to do all the things and be all the places at one time. It's just unrealistic. Yeah. The more realistic that you can become with your expectations and with deadlines, if you're a person that I likes to operate from concrete deadlines or with concrete deadlines rather, if you can become realistic with those and be mindful at the same time, I think that's a nice recipe for success of getting things done, getting more accomplished than what you would have had you not been mindful.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes like we've talked about on previous episodes, like, just having a list or to-do list and do certain stuff. And, I mean, I just don't like to use the word resolution. I put it like that, and to hold this whole New Year's thing. But for example, like, you can literally just tell yourself, like, okay, this year, whenever I make a to-do list, I'm gonna get everything done. Like, it don't have to be a big thing. Sometimes my resolutions, literally one of the things on my vision board is like, have fun and enjoy your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are some of the things that I have to remind myself to do, especially with, grief and other stuff happening. But yeah, all of that to say, y'all change whenever y'all ready. If you wake up at 3:30 in the morning and decide that I'm about to get myself together, do it.
Yeah, that honestly,
you decide, just do it.
Those wee hours in the night is actually like some of the best time to revamp your life.
Yes, no, for sure.
And just start putting your plan into action. But again, be mindful and be open to pivoting.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
If the things on your list don't necessarily work out the way that you thought they were going to, be open to the pivot and be open to the power of the pivot. Okay. So yes, be open to another plan, but also be mindful of the power behind that, because sometimes things don't work out for a reason.
Yes.
And you are forced to pivot in a season that is actually meant to put you on the right track. And it may not make sense in the beginning. But I think that if we are putting ourselves in a position to understand the power of the pivot, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I'm taking my own advice on that too. But I've seen it play out in my life several different times. Like, just being open to the universe amazing me and trusting God's plan and timing in my life. I can sit back on several situations and be like, dang, that didn't make sense in that season. And I felt really bummed about not getting that opportunity. And I felt really sad and upset about that relationship ending, or, me not having the opportunity to do these different things or meet people. And I'm like, you know what? Now it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Every last bit of it makes sense down to the most granular detail. I just want people to be mindful of that. I'll talk about that later, because that's actually a very lengthy kind of topic, and I don't want to take up too much time that we have to talk to you guys today. But I do want to hop into mind, body, and balance and just quickly share that a couple weeks ago I went to a red wine themed wine tasting, and I thought that it was great. I tasted some wines that I otherwise would not have because I am not naturally a red wine girly, largely because I do like the taste of red wine, but it's really because I tend to get a headache from red wines, I've noticed. White wines don't bother me, but the red wines typically do. But I learned that some winemakers attribute that headache to pesticides.
The sulfites, yeah.
Yeah, that are used during the cultivation process of growing the grapes, right? So I learned about that, and I thought it was interesting. But I thought it was the tannins. initially.
That's what gives you the color. No, it's not
So
the tannin. It's the sulfates. It's the sulfites. But some, and it comes from the casting too. It's however they're casted, because people don't realize. I went through this really crazy. I'm not gonna say went through a wine phase, because I'm still a wine girl. But when I was in law school, me and my little social group, my friends, we frequented wine tastings a lot. Like, we became friends with sommeliers. Like, we did a lot of wine stuff. And what people don't realize is that all wines are not even vegan. Like, people would think that they are, and they're not.
Yeah.
Like, because of how they're made. And there's a huge difference in that. And I noticed it when I was going through, my vegan journey, and I was making sure everything that I drank and ate, was along with my diet. And it changed the way I looked at wines, especially different red wines, because everybody would just automatically think that they're naturally vegan, and they're not. But I've noticed the ones that are vegan don't have the issue of the headaches and the sulfates. And I get really congested with the sulfates in my nose all the time. For whatever reason, I've noticed that I can't breathe good through my nose once I've had a wine with too many sulfates. And a lot of it is what people don't realize, is a lot of it is what we buy in a regular store, like Kroger, Target, Meyer. Those shelf wines usually are the ones that contain the most.
And a lot of those shelf wines are American-based wines.
Yes.
And so that is something that came up during the wine tasting, because we tasted wines from all over the globe. And a lot of the winemakers, all of them were based in Europe, with the exception of a couple California winemakers that were listed. But there was one in particular that stood out to me. She's a woman winemaker, and I cannot remember her name off the bat. She has a formal science degree that catapulted her career into winemaking, essentially. But her wines are vegan. Her wines are heavily based on clean evolution and practice of winemaking. And she is a really big advocate for that. And her wine was actually pretty good as well. Now, the price point was on the higher end of like what some people may be used to paying for a decent bottle of wine, but you really do get what you pay for. And that's when the conversation around what causes headaches with red wine came into play, because it was mentioned during her presentation that, it's actually the pesticides that are typically used in American wineries. But I feel like really they could be used anywhere. But at the same time, there are a lot of standards and governmental regulations in Europe.
I told y'all
for winemaking.
I told y'all last time, it's America. Last episode I told y'all.
Yeah.
Europe and America, it's different. The way they treat people and the way that they treat people. Like
European winemakers, European winemakers have to abide by strict governmental regulations when it comes to the practice of winemaking, and they can't just do whatever, and add whatever and grow their grapes however. They have to abide by those rules, otherwise they are not going to be in business. So I thought that was very interesting. But I really wanted to highlight too just the fact that I've heard this through time, and I know that several people have probably heard it as well, that red wine is actually beneficial for your health.
Yes.
And as somebody who...
antioxidants are very great for heart health.
Yeah. I was just about to say, as somebody who enjoys red wine, as yourself, I'm sure you know as well. So, it does have high antioxidants. It's anti-inflammatory, which is a good thing. And then also, I didn't realize that it is largely contributed to promoting healthy gut microbiome. So it's beneficial for your gut health as well, and increasing the diversity of the bacteria in our gut, which makes sense. It's a fermented grape, essentially. So I guess that would make sense. I never thought about it from that perspective. It's also attributed to lowering the risk of certain diseases such as heart disease. There are also some other studies that are currently developing in which they're trying to see how red wine affects different diseases that someone could be privy to.
Okay.
So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. But of course, it's always that that end note of large consumptions of wine. But I also found that note to be interesting because in Europe they drink a lot of wine. It is not uncommon
But because
for
of
people.
how they make it,
Exactly.
it's okay
That's
for
what I
them
was
to
gonna
drink a
say.
lot of wine, because even the coffee is different.
Yep.
People don't realize here, the reason why you have so much jitter with the caffeine is not necessarily the caffeine from the coffee. It's how those coffee beans are grown.
Yeah.
A lot of them are sprayed with pesticides, and you don't have clean beans at that point. So it's not just the caffeine. It's the caffeine mixed with the
I got
pesticides.
some coffee for you to try.
Okay.
It's from Colombia. It's from a coffee farmer in Colombia. Came straight from her farm. But that's another
But yeah, that's
conversation
my
for another
point.
day. But
It's
yeah,
everything
you're absolutely
in
right.
Europe versus America. Like, even when you think about it, people say, well, why do we have different issues with autism and all this other stuff? And they sell those same kind of foods in Japan. No, they don't. In Japan, they make hot Cheetos totally different. They don't have red number 5 dye in them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
they make the same snacks, yes, but they're not made the same. That's why when you go to countries like Mexico, the Coke tastes different.
Yeah, it does.
It's how they make it. It's the real sugar.
Even in Jamaica.
If you go to Jamaica, I was just about to say, if you go to Jamaica and get an orange pop or a Sprite, it tastes different.
It does taste different.
Red Stripe tastes different
It
in
tastes
Jamaica.
better.
Everything is KFC tastes better in Jamaica
Yeah.
than it do in United States. They don't give a damn about us over here, y'all. Let's just be honest. Y'all know every once in a while, I'm gonna get on my soapbox and I'm gonna get hella militant, and this is that time. America don't care about nobody.
You want to know what's a fascinating fact about Jamaica? There's no McDonald's on the island.
Yeah.
There isn't a single McDonald's on the island of Jamaica. And I thought that was interesting because the people essentially protested against the business. They didn't like the food. And so if you're not making money, there's no place for the business to exist. There's no point of having one. But the food does taste different. That's what I was going to say. The sommelier, he mentioned that in America, if he was drinking the amount of wine that is typically consumed by the everyday European, he would be considered a wino. Mm-hmm. But in Europe, nobody says anything because it's just part of their everyday culture. It's a part of their dining practices. It's not uncommon for you to sit and have lunch or, and have a nice dinner with a glass of wine, or just simply sit and go get a glass of wine, sit on your porch and drink it, because it is a part of the culture. But again, just like you said, it comes down to the quality of it. And that is also with our liquor too, the way that it's brewed here and in some other places as well. It's the process and the additives that make you feel the way that people feel, that make you feel sick, that make you feel super intoxicated.
When I went to Thailand last year, my cousin and I said it. So we had all joked and made like jokes about, what we was going to drink and blah, blah, blah when we got there. And I was like, y'all know I'm not a heavy drinker. I'm a lightweight, blah, blah, blah. The first night we went to the club, we ordered a bottle of Tito's. I'm not even a vodka drinker because it makes me congested, because it's the way it's fermented. And when I tell you we drunk, and I ain't saying this like to brag, but we drank copious amounts of tequila and vodka. Like every club we went to, and see, the nightlife in Thailand is so vast. So every club we went to, we were buying a bottle. They were cheap. We were buying bottles. We was buying shots. We were drinking like I ain't drank since I was in like undergrad, and we drank so much, and every morning, the next morning, we woke up and we're fine. Like one of my cousins, one of my friends, she works at a bar, and we brought some liquor home because we was in a bar. We poured like whatever little, they wouldn't let us take the bottle out the club, so we poured whatever little tequila we had left in a water bottle. We woke up the next morning and she was like, it still smelled like tequila. She said, if I was at home, like in Detroit, she was like, I would wake up the next day and this would smell totally different. She was like, I know, she worked in a bar. She's like, I know how it smelled like if I bring a drink home, what it smell like the next day. Like it don't smell the same. She's like, and there's no reason why everybody was looking at me because they was expecting me to be sick because they know how I get. We all got so drunk, and you could feel the drunk, but we weren't like sick drunk. It wasn't no passing out.
It's not an
woke
overly.
Up the next morning and was like, okay, we're great. It was cool. And I've done that a lot when I travel out of the country. It's in America where you get sick. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah,
like,
I
dead
was
serious.
I was literally just thinking about that, like as you were talking, the fact that I've been several places, and every place, I can't tell you that I was like overly drunk like in any of those places. And I too had copious amounts of alcohol, and the alcohol just doesn't hit your system the same.
Nope.
You can still, you have a good time, still get you a nice, little buzz, but you are fine. The next day, no hangover. Totally fine. Wake up, have a whole day of things to do, like just not feel that rush of a hangover. So yeah, it's the quality of stuff, and it's just interesting that people are, when we think about the arguments of, something such as autism, people are looking at everything but like, no, it can't be that. It can't be the food.
Yeah, it can be.
No, it can't be.
It absolutely can be.
It's
and
like,
that's the reason why. And think about it. They're saying, "Oh, we didn't have as much autism when we were younger, and we did. We just people didn't look at the same, but we probably different because the food was also different.
Yeah,
like McDonald's and Wendy's taste different when I was a kid than they do now.
Yeah, the food. So the fast food is definitely different. But then even just down to the fact that people cooked more. People sat and had family dinners more. And also people were growing their own vegetables and fruits and harvesting their own animals. People had their own chickens. And if they were not doing it themselves, they were shopping with local farmers who were. You had the fruit man that came to the neighborhood and you could get fresh fruits and vegetables off of his truck. You had the milkman who would come and drop it off.
I remember me and my girl
to your door.
We would get fresh chocolate milk, fresh regular white milk, and we would get this special. It was some kind of grape juice they used to make, and I have to ask my aunt what's the name of that place. But we had a milkman. I don't remember growing up buying milk in a plastic jar. Like my grandmother ordered this milk literally from Hamtramck in the glass thing, and then when they used to come and switch it out, like she's ordered like once a week. She used to have to clean the glass things out. She would set them out. They would take those, and then they would bring more. Yeah. I don't know if we had like a subscription service or whatever it was.
Yeah,
but
the milkman.
We had glass. Everything was in glass. It was cleaned a certain way. Like we didn't go pick up milk off, pasteurized off the shelf at the store. Like we just really went and got it, from somewhere fresh. So,
and the thing is, these services, they still exist in some places, many places, but also like buying local is still a thing. And so the only thing about buying local now is it's not as affordable to do in some places, but you might actually do better by buying local. Like if you go to the Eastern market, you can definitely get more bang for your buck with fruits and vegetables for sure.
Yeah.
If you're buying like fresh pressed juices and milk and things like that, you may spend more, but the quality, you're getting what you pay for. Yeah, the quality is going to be so much better.
Because I like to just get my fruit and vegetables from Randazzo because it's so cheap. Like,
yeah, it is. It's cheap. It's fresh. It's like, okay, cool. I can just go and clean this real quick. I'll go get my ginger root from there and dehydrate it, chop it up and dehydrate it, and just jar it and use that for my teas and things in the future. So yeah, think about that, y'all. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more, and I want to talk about that more in depth in like future conversations that we can have, because I think it's just so many layers to it, and there's a lot of talk, especially with our new administration, around things related to health and science, etc.
I don't know what's about to happen with this world.
I have no idea either, and
I don't even want to figure it out because
we just here. We in this thing. That's really how we operate. Let's slide over to sound check real quick, because I've had something I want to talk about for a bit.
Okay.
And it's the fact that Wale dropped a new album, and I know that I don't think we talked about this yet, but Wale's new album, for me, I know that you really don't particularly care for Wale, but I do like his music a lot. I do, and it made me think about being in high school. When Wale came out, I think I was in high school. Yeah, definitely in high school. So it's a bit nostalgic to hear him get a nice full body of work that I truly feel like you can play from start to finish. And this is one of the most vulnerable projects I think that we've gotten from Wale as well. But he does have a couple songs on there that I absolutely cannot stop playing. And one of those songs is entitled Fly Away. I really like that song. They use a Maxwell Pretty Wings sample. And it, I know you don't, I ain't even gonna tell Tash, yeah, you gotta listen to it for the context and hear what he's saying in the lyrics, because I already know how you are.
Well,
But the Fly Away is one of the tracks. The other track is Watching Us with Leon Thomas. And Watching Us was the first song that I was absolutely in a loop about. Like, I cannot stop listening to this song because it is such a beautiful song. But all the while of me listening to Watching Us, all I could think about was the allegations that he and Solange used to date at some point. And I'm not saying that the song is about her.
That's crazy because I never even knew that. But I don't.
I heard that.
I'm a big Solange fan, but like I said, I don't really care for Wale.
I'm a huge Solange
and
fan.
I hate.
That's my girl.
I hate when. I don't like when artists sample current songs, and like, to me, Pretty Wings is current. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I don't like Jacquees. I tell people that all the time. Like, sir, where's your own catalog? Like, you're just remaking shit over and over again, and I'm sick of it. Like he was remaking LMA. Like, how can you remake somebody's shit and y'all in the same era?
Yeah,
like, you don't do that.
No, that's like what he was doing. What Jacquees was doing was very strange to me. But I think that the way that this song is sampled, even though it's current,
baby with him, but we go on.
Yeah, that's a whole nother thing.
Why?
But the way that this song is, the way that Fly Away is sampled, I think that it's done in a tasteful way, because it's not, the instrumental is not heavily based in Pretty Wings. They really just took that chorus and used it accordingly throughout the song. If I can't have you, let love set you. That part of the song is what they use. And there's a lady that's actually singing it. So I don't mind it on that song. It's the lyrics and like the way that Wale goes about storytelling that I really appreciate, and really painting a picture for us. He uses music like a canvas, and so I can really visualize what he's talking about. I can even listen to a song of his and be taken back to particular times in my life or relationships where it's like, dang, this is actually relevant to something that I may have experienced as well. Especially Watching Us. Like, Watching Us is a very groovy song. I ain't gonna lie. I really like it. And then he put Leon Thomas on it and just took it up a notch, because Leon Thomas is that guy. I'm really excited to continue watching his climb of success as well, because it feels like he's come out of nowhere, but he really been around for a long time. He's been around for a while. So if at any point there's some, I'll say this too before we get into the next topic. There are upbeat tracks on it as well. Like, some people are just used to that slow kind of, acoustic Wale feel. Like, yeah, he got some of those songs on there. Fly Away is one of them. Watching Us is a bit more upbeat than Fly Away. But then he has some songs on there that is more like Afrobeat, music, and more upbeat, which I feel like is really different than what we're used to hearing from Wale. It's flavors on the album. So I'm really honestly looking forward to the tour, because I think that I'm definitely going to go. I've never been to a Wale show, but I'm curious to see how that's going to pan out. And I don't know. I'm just excited to see the artistry unfold. Like, once somebody drops an album that I'm really into, now I gotta see the visuals. Now I gotta see how you're gonna put all of this together. But going back into the conversation about Solange, that was something that I didn't know either, and we still don't know. Nobody has come. Neither one of them have come out and blatantly said, confirmed anything. So we won't know anything for sure. But when I did see that on the internet, I was like, that's interesting. And I don't know. Like, it just caught me by surprise. Like, that's something that's very interesting. I could see it potentially being a thing. But again, we won't know excuse me, unless they come out and say something. But when I was listening to the song, I just kept thinking about that. My initial spin of watching us, I kept thinking about the fact that somebody hopped on the internet and they said that they used to date. And I'll also be thinking, how do people be knowing this stuff? Where y'all get this information from?
I mean, easy. It's people. If it's so many celebrities that I have come into contact with, like on a regular basis, like it's a plethora of people I could probably call right now. Like I know a lot of people, just knowing them, especially being in Atlanta. You start meeting these people, they hang out with anybody. People know people see stuff. Like that wouldn't be surprising that, like, and I know people personally that know Solange personally, which is crazy. I don't think I spoke to him in a while. People. I don't think I spoke to him in a minute, but I know people that like used to hang out with her like back in the day. Like so it's why I say all that to say it's no. I mean that stuff can come from anywhere. Like it's not like it was back in the day now. Like I was talking to my best friend about that a while ago, and I was like, I don't like living in this new reality because I like celebrities a lot better when I didn't know anything about them. Like back in the day, celebrities didn't want to be on the news and in the Inquirer and stuff. Now it's like, now you give a celebrity a phone and they want you to see all their personal business, and that makes me not like people. Like I like people when there's mystery. When I start knowing stuff about you, it takes away the appeal for me. And I just don't like being able, like I liked the fact that we used to have to speculate about stuff like, damn, we wonder how Toni Braxton act with her sisters. Now these hoes is on reality TV and they're showing us that they're trash. Like, I don't want to know that. Like now it's like, I used to look at certain people as like, you know, I ain't gonna say put people on a pedestal, but I used to look at them, you know, as a celebrity. Now I look at everybody just like everybody else because y'all just want attention. Like, I don't like that. Like, give us the mystery. You know, you don't have to post everything. Like, I know somebody that I was just seeing that with recently. Like, I guess they were getting ready to go out of town with their partner. They was like, I'm taking my man on a vacation to some of my, you know, little hideouts. It ain't no private vacation if every 5 minutes you're going to post everything y'all doing on a vacation. I done seen you in your bathing suit. I done seen him do this. I done seen a picture of the rose petals in y'all room. I done seen everything. We're on this vacation too. Where is the privacy?
Yeah, this is, and you just reminded me of something. I remember seeing, I can't remember if it was Michael B. Jordan seeing it himself or if someone referenced him in a conversation that they had regarding advice that Denzel Washington had given him. He said, get off the internet. Why would people pay to see you if they can see you every day on the internet, on Instagram?
And that's how I feel about a lot of these people. It's a lot of, like, for example, you're never going to see, I don't do a lot of, and I'm not trying to shit on nobody's craft, but I don't do a lot of these smaller, like, Instagram comedians. I like them and I watch them on Instagram, but like, I'm not, like, for example, Desi Banks was just here in Atlanta. I mean, in Detroit. I love Desi Banks, like, love him down, but I'm not paying $120 to go see Desi Banks. I'm sorry. All of your content, everything I see is online. When people was paying to go see people back in the day, when you was to go and see an Eddie Murphy or somebody like that, nobody knew what these people was doing in these sets until you went. You had to go to be a part of it. That's why I love when Dave Chappelle did his stand-up. Take them fucking phones. Like, I hate when Beyonce go on tour, not because I hate Beyonce and just don't want to see her making no money, because I can't ever just get on the internet and have a regular day. Everybody records the whole fucking show and puts it online. Yeah. Where's the exclusivity? I'm not about to, if I paid $100 and something to go to these shows, or $200, or Beyonce show $500, I'm not going to spend my entire time at this show recording it so I could post it for a motherfucker who couldn't afford to go.
Yeah, no, that is
because if that's the case, Beyonce just need to record it and put it on TV.
So that's what I thought too. Like when people were spending all that money on the tickets, I was like, I'm gonna see the concert anyway.
And
online.
I saw the entire from every city because I got friends everywhere. I got friends that left here and went to it. I got people that I saw Chicago, I saw Atlanta, I saw Houston, I saw all these cities. Yeah, because everybody puts it online.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That is a valid point. So when I heard that, it's like, dang, that actually makes a lot of sense, and it does dismantle the exclusivity around the arts. Like you said, back in the day, people, you actually had to buy a ticket to go to a show to see these people live. Otherwise, you was just listening to them on a record and, you know, seeing them, you know, occasionally in the interview setting. That was the most that you got. But even in the interview setting, it's about what they chose to share. There weren't many celebrities who were super transparent about their personal lives and everything in between, especially with dating. Like, that was something that was heavily kept under wraps most of the time. You got your few scandals here and there and far in between that maybe some closer than others. I'm thinking like back in the 70s and
Yeah, I mean, but
80s.
even still, when you had people like we didn't know about all of that stuff with Andre Rison and Left Eye until they started hitting the news, until she went to jail. Then stuff started coming out.
Right.
Now these celebrities will record themselves doing something and then
That is
wonder
true.
why they're going to jail for it. Like, for example, I don't care to know that Cash Doll and Zadarius breaks up every other fucking day. Like, she'll post something, I'm single, then the next day they back together. I'm sick of that. I don't want to keep seeing that.
Yeah, but a lot of people too feel like that's what keeps them buzzing. They'll use it to that advantage in that way, which I think is all of it is it's just a harmful hamster wheel
That's just like the stuff
of
with Michael
gossip, of
Blackson and that girl
media.
Rada. We seen them for the last few years on all these reality shows. Him making a fool of her. Then all of a sudden, we started seeing that stuff come out about him having another baby on her. And I told Mike then, when Mike sent it to me, like, you seen this about your boy Michael Blackson? I was like, something ain't right about this. Next thing we know, two days later, they on an advertisement for Love and Hip Hop Miami. Y'all
Yeah.
doing this for
See?
that, like, but that's so crazy because these
Keep 'em
people
buzzing.
have families. Like, this girl's mom is watching her love a man on the internet and him having multiple babies on her, and it's just posted like everywhere you go, and y'all have children, so now your children can't escape this mess.
Yeah.
Like, it's
That's
it's
the
just
other
so
part
much.
that I feel like people fail to consider and to think about, whether you are the celebrity themselves who is creating these narratives around their own lives, or if you are people who are on the outskirts perpetuating these stories and just keeping them going, or creating things out of thin air. People don't think about the fact that when children are involved, how harmful that could be for for them in the future, to get on the internet and see all these things, all these stories, and be able to read and comprehend what these articles are saying about their parents. Like, that is just setting them up for you know potential disaster, I feel like, in the long run. People don't think about that. I hope that we can come to a place where people begin to wake up a little bit and see the damage that type of media, that type of exposure to media, and that type of sharing of information. I hope that they can wake up and see how harmful that can be.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, listen to the Wale album if you care to. I think it might be at least one song on there that you might like.
I don't like anything by Wale. I don't like his voice. Like, I didn't like his songs back in the day, like Pretty Girls and all them songs. I'm just not into that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Like,
Would you like DMX?
absolutely.
I
Like,
love DMX. I actually met him. Did I tell you that?
uh-uh.
I met him when I was a little girl. It was like one of the best experiences that I had with a celebrity. He was so kind.
Yeah, I don't know. It's because I feel like something about Wale to me just feels disingenuous. Like, I just don't feel like he's the person that he presents himself to be. I don't know. I don't know. I've always had that feeling about him. Like, I didn't care for him on No Hands. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they had their era where everybody was putting Wale on stuff. I mean, it was cool, but it's just, that ain't really my vibe. I don't know why. I just ain't never been into it. But you know what? I also don't like J. Cole either. Like, when me and Mike first started dating, that was something that was so odd to him, because J. Cole is probably his favorite rapper. And I remember, like, J. Cole came to Detroit and I was going to buy him a ticket. But some of our other friends were going, and I was like, you have to go with them, because I'm not going to sit through a fucking J. Cole concert. It's nothing about that man that I like.
Well, to each his own.
Like,
To each his own. That goes back to.
and I think they're the same to me. Like, I feel like J. Cole is just a light skinned version of Wale.
Yeah, I never looked at them like that. They sound different to me, but I enjoy both of their discographies, if you will. So that goes back to our conversation about preferences and the fact that what I like, you don't have to like, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion and substance, right? Of things that they like. Speaking of things that people like, have you seen online these viral sardine plates?
Please don't.
So look, this I feel the same way. My mom, the
Girl,
reason why
my mama just made one the other day. She's like, look at my plate. Girl, I don't give a damn about that. Please.
why okay, so why did my mom just go and buy stuff to get this sardine plate? And she's making such a big deal about it. She's like so excited about it. And I'm like, Mom, where did you even see this? Of course, I know she saw it on the internet, but I wanted to get it from her. Like, who did you see post a sardine plate that you want one all of a sudden? Like, we've never eaten sardines in our household. I don't
But
know.
that's another thing to me that like I don't like social media because, for example, like people will post all these hacks, and I'm like, as Black people, this ain't no fucking hack. This was a part of
Yeah.
our experience, and sardines are like we consider that like a poor food. Like I remember buying cases of sardines and let my granddad take them back to Africa because that was a big deal for him to have sardines in Ghana. But they would steal his shit at the airport. Like when he would come through, when he would finally get to Accra, they would take the sardines and stuff out of his bag. Like he would have to carry them on because if he packed them, they would steal them because it was a delicacy for them. But it's like all of that stuff now is like people taking it and making it, I don't know. Like I think certain stuff should just be left with the struggle. You
So
know?
this is the other thing about that. I feel like when you come across foods that become viral and become popular, pop culture, the price of those foods start to creep
And
up.
that's my thing, that people with low incomes depend on stuff like sardines
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. And now y'all making it a whole thing.
Yeah. So the reason why they are making it a whole thing, and for people that have not seen these sardine plates that have gone viral on the internet, essentially it's a charcuterie board with sardines as the at the center of it, if you will. So you might have the sardines with some crackers, different vegetables, olives, you know, sometimes people will add like little spices I've seen, or maybe even like another kind of spread, like a cream cheese or something, and they will just eat that, and that will be lunch or whatever.
Yeah.
The reason why that they're doing it though is very interesting because now, you know, all of a sudden people are like, this is a great source of vitamins and this is and the
Protein,
third.
yeah.
So, and it is true. So sardines are considerably high in omega-3s, and they're known to boast to boost brain health, your mood, reducing anxiety, and your energy. And another thing about sardines, they're also pretty abundant in vitamin D and calcium. Calcium from the sorry, I just drew a blank there. But calcium to support your bones and your mood as well. And then the other vitamins that they have are B12 and protein, selenium, or is it selenium?
Selenium.
Selenium. And the word for the day is selenium. Sardines has all of these, like it's jam packed with all these vitamins and nutrients, and people are like making a big deal about it now. But just as you said, Tash, like we've known this for a long time, and even if people didn't know it, it's just a fact of like sardines have been, like you said, considered more of a struggle meal in the Black community, and a meal that you would eat, like, you know, if you was in between blessings, okay,
Yeah.
and you just had to make ends meet, make things do what it do, you might whip up something with some sardines, you might just eat them by themselves or whatever. So the fact that it's becoming such a popular thing is just interesting to me. And my mom even said, she was like, I said, do you even like sardines? Because we've never eaten
I have
them
never
in our
seen my mama
household.
eat sardines in 37 years of me living.
I've never seen her
All
eat
of a
them
sudden,
either.
she called me at work the other day talking about she saw my cousin make one to my. You seen that plate Gina put online? There with them sardines, and I was like, girl, people do that on TikTok with everything. Like that whole little girl dinner is getting popular. Like, girl, I've been eating girl dinner all my damn life. Whenever I'm lazy, I get a few little chips, a few of this, a few of that, snack, go to bed. Okay, girl dinner. I've been doing it my whole life. It's funny because me and my homegirl from law school, we were talking about that, and we were saying that one day we was like, what is this girl dinner shit? Like we was like, we've been doing that. Like it's struggling law students. Like granted, we had a little bit of change, but we would buy a little bit of here. We would split a little stupid stuff, snack while we studying, drink a glass of wine or two, and be like, all right, we gotta go to sleep because we gotta come to school the next day.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, rightfully so.
you don't even
That's
have the
like,
appetite to eat all that stuff.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing new under the sun. You know, really,
No.
what this is
And that's
is
what
a
I don't like about
constant.
TikTok and social media. It's like all this stuff is a big deal. And it's like, I've been doing this.
It's a big deal because they're putting it on the internet and making it a big deal. But really, what it is just a constant appropriation of culture, if you will.
Absolutely.
It's
Thank you.
yeah, down to the food that we've eaten for years and years and decades at this point, you know, if you will. So I just thought it was interesting, and it's even more interesting that our parents have been influenced by this, because a homegirl went and got stuff to make a sardine plate. I'm like, well, I'm interested to see if you're actually gonna like it, because my mom is also a very picky eater. She's not somebody that will frequently try new things. So I'm just like, well, I hope you didn't waste your money on that. Like, you went out to try and buy this thing to have this sardine plate, and you might not even like it. She said, well, I haven't had sardines since I was a kid. I really don't know if I like them. But now all of a sudden you inclined to go out and buy this stuff and purchase it and try it because somebody said that it was good.
Child, that's what they do.
Girl.
Drive me up a wall.
But hey, if you want to have a sardine plate, you know, I told you earlier how to make it if you want it, but don't attribute it to what's happening online. That's all I'm saying. We've been eating sardines for a long time in the Black community.
Well,
and it is high in the vitamins and nutrients.
I believe they do have some good, some you know, the qualities and the properties that we looking for. But yeah. So if we want to talk about something very outlandish and moms being unhinged,
this is our confession. Which also doubles as our rhythm and groove for today.
More than a confession, this is more of a what would you do? I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to be just as outraged as I was. There are two parts to this. And I want you to just tell me what you would do. And I'm just going to read this verbatim.
I'm scared.
What the fuck? And it's a whole bunch of emojis. I've been messing with this old head for like 2 years now. And today I decided to introduce him to my mother. Why the fuck is this man my father? I am 25 years old and I've never known who my dad was. When I say I'm so pissed, I could throw up. Then this lady really got the nerve to say, well, it's too late now. No need to stop messing with him. Then she says, so I'm supposed to stop messing with him? Like, what the fuck? I really love this man. I'm laughing because this is really crazy and funny. And until the test comes back that says he's my dad, I am not going to stop hunching him because he's my best eater. If y'all see the way Diamond just died, that's why I said I wanted to get your real live reaction. Like, I didn't want to send it to you this week and say, well, this is what we're going to talk about during this segment, because this is outlandish. And I'm just like, huh?
What?
I
will be so disgusted.
Listen.
First of all,
somebody put in the comments, you would not beat this information out of me.
Okay, yeah. So there's a few things.
Calling your dad your best eater is crazy work.
The whole post itself is a problem. The fact that it even made it to the internet is a problem. And that's what I mean by, I was just telling somebody the other day, when I see people posting certain stuff on the internet, I be embarrassed for them, because some stuff that they be posting, it's like, that shouldn't be nobody business but yours and whoever else is personally involved. This is one of those cases. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, absolutely not. I wouldn't do nothing about this situation, because I wouldn't find myself in a situation like this. You want to know why? This goes back to us having the conversation about familial connections and being honest about what is going on in your family. The fact that she never knew her father is an unfortunate reality for a lot of people, but that is the first critical issue in this situation, right? And the fact that her mom even made the remarks that she did, knowing the situation, an even greater issue. That's one of those things that when I read it, it was like, I hope this is fake. Yeah. But the way she typed it, it didn't seem like no setup post for no viral moment. Like, greater situation, like that's even a greater issue. The fact of how her mom responded to it, because I will be throwing up sick on the stomach. The
First
other
of all,
thing
I'm not trying to be
is
funny, but let me tell you something. I look too much like my daddy. Ain't no way in the hell I would
same,
not know that was my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no
same.
way I would not know.
You hold me up to my dad, or even like some people in my family, like my aunts, hold us up side by side,
Only
and they be
thing
like,
that you
"Oh
don't have
no,
of your dad's is his complexion.
you."
That's the only thing that
You
would throw
done.
people off between Diamond and her daddy. Like, she looks exactly like her father, and I'm the same way. And my daddy's just lighter than me. I'm darker than my dad, and,
Our
and Diamond's dad
hairline.
is darker than her. So it's weird. But I look. It's no way that you would. I would not know that's like. Come on now.
Yeah, but some people, like, depending on the
I can look at
day.
my thumb and look at my daddy thumb. I can tell he my daddy.
Yeah,
Okay, we got the
depending on the
same big
day.
toe. Like, it's just fucking
But even my
crazy.
granddad, like my dad looks exactly like his father. So like he looked exactly like his father. So
Well, my dad
it's
look
like we
like his
all look
mom, but
alike.
still, like,
There's
I
no
just
denying
still,
this
come
one.
on. Like,
There's no denying it. But you have some cases where I have a friend who looks exactly like her mom. She looked like her mom, like literally made her by herself. And so you have instances where that is a reality. That may be the case. We don't know, but absolutely not. Like, this is such an unhinged
let me tell you
confession,
something.
and there's so many layers to it. That's like,
I would have been.
I
My mama would have told me that I would have been out there
oh,
with the
every
whole family. I'd have left him over there, left him with his baby mama, and I'd have got the hell on. I wouldn't have spoke to nobody for
no,
another 2 years because I would have needed at
no.
least 2 years to scrub my psyche. Of the 2 years, I'd have been fucking my daddy.
But the other thing
'Cause
is,
what?
you're so jaded by a sexual experience that you will allow that to trump the fact that you just
your
found
father?
out that this man is your father. And you're just like, yeah, okay, so what? I'm just going to keep on having sex with him because the sex is good. That is absolutely inappropriate.
Sick.
Absolutely sick.
When I tell you sick,
I will be throwing up, and it's not even my situation. Like,
I'm
what?
throwing up just thinking about it.
I can't imagine. Like, I just can't. I don't want to, quite honestly.
Like, that's what I'm saying.
No,
It's just
no,
sick.
absolutely not.
Like, when I read that, I was like, oh no, this is definitely something we have to talk
Absolutely
about
not.
on the show. Because this is, I mean, I don't want to see nothing like it.
I can see why you would think that's fake, because
I
I would
hope
have
it's
read
fake.
it and been
I
like,
don't-
what?
Listen, I am praying that it is fake.
I hope so
Because
too, because that is.
But we also know that is a reality. Like, it is real.
But
I've heard about women dating a guy. Like, you know, at our age, I can date somebody. Like, for example, my mom and I are only 17 years apart. So I feel like, and I know people whose parents had them at 14, 15. I could very well date a younger guy, a guy that's younger than me. Let's say at my age, I'm not quite 38 yet. I will be in 2 weeks, but that's neither here nor there. But I could date a guy that's younger than me. It would be permissive for me to date a guy that's 30, right? 31. So what if I dated a guy that's 30 and it don't work out? What if his daddy had him when he was 15? So mathematically speaking, the daddy's 45, right? At 37, I could date a 45-year-old.
yeah,
So how would I know? And what if he didn't know his daddy? What if I dated a guy and we didn't work out and we just was amicable, we cool, it didn't work out, and you never met his family because he ain't never had no relationship with his parents, you know, with his father or whatever, and then you go to the mall and you meet this nice older guy who, you know, maybe or may not acknowledge his kids, and then you find out that you done had both of them, the daddy and the son.
that is.
Like, because those things can happen.
I actually recently heard a story where that was the reality, and that was mind blowing. Maybe I'll share that in the future. Who knows?
Yo, we gonna need to.
That
do
is so embarrassing.
But that's so crazy.
And all I'm thinking about now too is the psychological damage that's been done and will be done with that type of situation. Like, you cannot undo that. You cannot unsee, unexperience none of the things. You just can't. And so that's so unfortunate. I'm clenching my pearls. I can't do it.
Yeah, that was it. I'm done. I ain't got nothing else.
I'm done. Cut the show. Take me off. That would have been the straw that brought the camel's back for me. That would have been it.
Listen, I would never.
Well, Tosh, thanks for sharing that confession today. Do you have anything for the Sanctuary Scoop? Well,
Nah.
as always, follow us on everything at the Soulful Stir, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Comment, like, subscribe, leave us a review. Tell a friend, tell your homeboy, your uncle, your mama, your cousin, your brother, your father.
I mean,
Who we hope that nobody listening to this
I was going to say, I do just,
has had an
one
inappropriate
tip.
relationship with.
I was about to say my one tip is I know that we try to, we don't try to jump the gun when it's come to certain stuff, but I just feel like it's one thing to not bring people around to meet your people, but at least show them a picture. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of this could have been avoided if she would have been like, "Mama, this the dude I'm dating." Which, once again, you don't know how her relationship is with her mama, but still,
yeah,
at least show folks some pictures. Like, you ain't got to tell them y'all business, you ain't got to tell them what y'all been doing, but go to your family and put a picture of your partner on the screen and be like, "Do anybody know him?
Right?
Is this anybody cousin, baby daddy, mama? Is this your baby daddy?" Like, these are the questions. I just feel like we need to answer. And then it's weird because you would think nowadays with us having so much access to technology and stuff that these things wouldn't occur. But once again, people be so secretive. So
they do.
Cut out all them secrets. Y'all understand some stuff you want to keep private because it need to be your business. But sometimes sharing is caring.
Indeed.
Because her mama should have shared that.
I agree. She should have shared it. She didn't, and now they in this situation.
Yeah, that's sick.
As Tash mentioned in our last episode, we actually do have a component on our Linktree, where you can click the link to buy us a coffee or cocktail, should you choose to do so for two of your new favorite podcast hosts. So I just want to plug that in there for the Sanctuary Scoop that we have for today. But thank you again for tuning in to another episode of The Soulful Stir. Over and out.